Hello everyone, this is Blockchain Ethereum free demo session from Tutorials Diary. My name is Vikas and I will walk you through this session and will show you that what is blockchain all about that and why there is so much hype around the blockchain and why you should really jump to the blockchain development and why you really should learn about the blockchain right now. So let's start with this session. So the very first question which I ask everyone that have you heard about blockchain, and the reply I used to get that yes, we have heard about blockchain but we really don't know about this one in the detail, where this can be used, how this can be used, and what is the future of the blockchain. So if you have the same doubts, same questions, you are on the right place here, because I will just show you that what is a blockchain, the real potential of the blockchain, and why you should really jump to the blockchain development right now. So before we jump to the blockchain introduction, so this is the agenda of this session. We will talk about that, what is a blockchain, the blockchain elements, and then we'll talk about the blockchain features, and then the type of blockchain which is being used right now in the industry, the use case of blockchain, where the blockchain can be used, and the blockchain timeline, and then we'll talk about the blockchain potential and the facts, and then we'll give the overview of the course, the Ethereum course which you're offering, the feature of this course, and in the last we'll have the question and answer sessions. So let's start with the very first topic, which is the blockchain. So before we jump to the blockchain introduction, we have to understand this concept, which is a ledger. So the person who comes from the account background, they are very well aware about the ledgers, but let me try to explain in very layman term. Let's take this example where the Mark has to send some dollar value to a J. So this is known as one transaction where Mark is sending some amount to a J. So these transactions get stored to some file that is known as a ledger. So ledger is nothing, just it is a record keeping where multiple records are kept so that we can refer that in the future as needed. So this will not store only one transaction, this can store multiple transactions at the same time. So what happens nowadays in the real time, these ledgers, these records get stored on one server. So this is known as centralized systems. Let's take the same example where Mark is sending some dollar value to a J. So Mark is sending through some medium. He will use the bank's software or bank's system or some third-party APIs like PayPal or Western Union and any other options. So that is known as transaction. So that transaction gets stored to a ledger, and that ledger will get saved to one central system of the bank. So now in this case, bank is a central authority for you. So this is how the transaction gets stored nowadays. So what is the issue with this central system right nowadays? The issue is that you have to trust a centralized authority which you really don't know. If you remember the example of 2008 when there was a big issue with the all kind of big banks where they were not able to repay the money of the person who submitted their money to their bank accounts. So this is kind of challenges which we have with the centralized system. So we want to move away from a centralized system where we don't want to have a central authority. So that brings this new system, which is a distributed and a decentralized systems where there is no central authority. Instead of that, we have multiple peers connected with each other and they are keeping the same copy of the information on their systems. So as you can see in this diagram, there is no central system here. There are different servers which are connected with each other. They are making a network, and as you can see here, same copy of ledger gets stored on all the servers which are in the network. So in case one network which is shown in the red, if that tries to make any manipulation to the records, that will not be able to do because the same copy is there on the other networks. They will come to know that someone is trying to make some changes to the information which is not valid. So this is whatever challenges which we used to have in a centralized systems that can be fixed using this system, which is distributed and decentralized. So blockchain works on distributed and decentralized systems. So now let's talk about blockchain. So we have talked about ledgers, but how the information gets stored in a blockchain. So in a blockchain, information is not stored in form of ledger, rather it's stored in form of blocks only. As you can see in this diagram, there are different kind of blocks which are chained together, and every block have transaction stave inside it. So instead of ledger, we have the block which are chained together and they are stored in the information. So as you can see here, so since this is a chain of block, a block will have a reference of previous block in that one. So it is hard to change the information in a blockchain because this will be a chaining of the blocks, not the individual block which we are having. So this is how the information gets stored in a blockchain. Now this shows the blockchain network. So here instead of ledgers, you have chain of blocks which is there on all the peers which we have in a network. So this is how the blockchain network look like. You have the same piece of information on all the servers or all the nodes or all the peers which is there in a network. So this is a network of the blockchain. So let's talk about the blockchain here. So blockchain is a peer-to-peer distributed ledger that is cryptographically secured, append only, immutable, and updated by only the agreements. So let's try to split this definition to a small pieces, and let's understand this in a detail in the next diagram. So blockchain is a peer-to-peer network. When we say peer-to-peer network, that is equivalent to the diagram which we have shown in the last slide, where we have mentioned that there is no central authority, but there are different servers or different nodes or different peers. They connect with each other, they make a networks. So that is a peer-to-peer network. Instead of having a central authority, you have multiple peers which connect with each other and make a blockchain network. Blockchain is a immutable. Immutable means that once data is written to a blockchain, it is impossible to change that information or data which we have written, because the information gets stored in form of chain of blocks, and you will not be able to change any of the block which is in between, because a reference of that block is there in a previous block, right? So the blockchain is a immutable, and blockchain is a secure as well. So no information in the blockchain is saved in form of plain text. So since the question comes that, so since we are saying that blockchain information, the blockchain data which we have, this will be replicated on all the peers. So that means all the peer will have the information. So how we'll maintain the security here? So if we have data on all the peers, so they can see the data also, what transactions are going on from that person to this person. So that can be secured with the help of cryptography in the blockchain. So there are different principles which we have in the security which we can apply to make your information secure. So you will not be able to see the information in a plain text. All the information is hashed, it is secured, it is encrypted in the blockchain. So blockchain is append only. As I just talk about that, this is immutable plus append only. When we say append only, whenever you write data to a blockchain, you will not be able to revert that. You can only append the information, you cannot change the information in a blockchain. That is append only. Distributed, as we have discussed that since this is a peer-to-peer network, so same piece of copy is there on all the peers. So information is a distributed information on a blockchain. Consequences, to explain this one, let's take one example. Let's take, I have 5 friends. Okay, I have given them a puzzle. Let's say I have given them a puzzle of 1 plus 1. So I will tell them that, okay, whosoever will solve this puzzle, I will give them $10. So what happens that all the 5 friends will use their resources, their laptop, their desktop, or their calculators, and so on. They will start using their resources and they will try to solve the puzzle. And whosoever will solve the puzzle first, that person will raise a hand saying that, okay, yes, I have solved this puzzle, so 1 plus 1 is 2. And he will ask other to validate. So other 4 friends will validate that, yes, 1 plus 1 is 2, and they will say yes, he has solved the puzzle, and that person will get $10. And what happens that the two value they will add to their, they everyone will come to know, all the four friends. So that means all the five friends will come to one agreement that 1 plus 1 is 2. And this is, so once the agreement happens, then only the information will get stored to a blockchain. So this is how the blockchain works. So this is the agreement happens between all the peers, then only the blockchain gets save the data to the network. So let's move further. Let's talk about the feature of blockchain. So the blockchain is a decentralized network, as we have discussed before. This is a peer-to-peer network, so we don't have any central authority here. So this is totally decentralized system. Transparency and trust. So since data is replicated on all the nodes, every node will have same data, so they can query from their side. So that brings us the transparency and trust among the peers. So blockchain is immutable, as we have discussed in the last slide. It is impossible to change the information which is written on a blockchain. You cannot change any information which is there on a blockchain. So that is make it immutable. High availability. So since this is a peer-to-peer network, so imagine that you have 10,000 of nodes connected with each other, making the blockchain networks. In case your 5 nodes goes down, that will have no impact. So other nodes are up and running. So that will make your system high available. And then the information is secure. The blockchain is pretty much secure because we use different principles to secure, to encrypt your information, to do signing of your information, and that makes your information very much secure on a blockchain. So here then there is a cost saving. So since we don't have any middleman in the blockchain, so that means you can save pretty much cost here, and there is no middleman. So that is the reason that will add the value to your business for sure. So this is the features which we had in blockchain that is make it best to use for industry. So let's talk about the blockchain types. So right now there are different kind of blockchain available in the market, but I will just show you that very basic at high level, the main blockchains. The one is Bitcoins, which everyone knows, and second one is Ethereum, then is Hyperledger and Corda. So one thing we have to understand that there are very few projects which is currently going on a blockchain which are live projects. Most of industries are trying to evaluate the blockchain. They are trying to see the potential of this blockchain, how they can use this blockchain in their work. So right now there are a couple of proof of concepts are going on a blockchain. So this chart show about that how many proof of concepts are going on each blockchain. So as you can see here, Ethereum consists of 46% of proof of concept. So 46% proof of concepts are going on a Ethereum only. Then Hyperledger 32%, then Corda 17%, and others 4%. So this is a kind of bit old chart. So this chart value may change in the future also, as we'll have some new blockchain coming up in the future as well. But from this chart, you can imagine that there are 46% of POCs are going on Ethereum. So Ethereum has a huge potential. So then blockchain use cases. So most of people think that blockchain is something is Bitcoin. That is not correct. Yes, blockchain was introduced with Bitcoin only in 2008, but that is not only for cryptocurrencies. You can use a blockchain for other scenario as well, like the security, for healthcare, for consumer care, for public sector, and other sectors. Let me give you some proof of concept which is going on a blockchain. In India, one of the state is doing a POC on a land. They are trying to store all the registries, which is for the plots, which is for the flats, on a blockchain, so that they don't need to store on some hard copies on some central systems. So that can be accessible throughout of India or outside of India as well. But that is again a POC is going on. And second is healthcare. You can store the information, healthcare information on a blockchain, so that if persons currently staying in India or US travel to somewhere else, so if some is happening there, So the doctor or the hospital can access the information of the person from blockchain, their medical history, and they can operate accordingly. So there are many use cases of blockchain instead of financial sector only. So this is the reason we are stressing again and again that the potential is huge for the blockchain in the upcoming years. So blockchain timelines. So blockchain was really started in 2008 with the invention of bitcoins, the electronic cash. It was implemented in 2009. Then in 2015, the exploration started on a blockchain apart from a financial sector. So till that time, it was assumed that this is mainly for the financial sector only, for the money part only. But no, in 2015, exploration started and people try to start the investment on this one. They are trying to evaluate that can this be used apart from any financial sector or not. Then 2016 and 17, many big players like IBM, Oracle, and many big players has adopted this blockchain, and they have, like IBM has bring up the Hyperledger. Oracle is launching also a blockchain network or a blockchain cloud right recently. So this has been adopted by many big players in 2017 and 16. And we expect to have a big growth in the blockchain in 2018 to 24 in 6 years. We expected that blockchain will grow by any means in these 6 years. And we assume that by 2025, this blockchain will be mature enough and this will be used in a day-to-day life. So this is the expectation we have in the blockchain. So the future is immensely secure in the blockchain. And we'll see going forward. This timeline may change a bit here and there, but this is the expectation of the blockchain. When we talk about the potential of blockchain, so this diagram from Gartner Group, so they are, according to them, blockchain is estimated to deliver $4 billion value in the business in 2017. As you can see in this diagram, in 2017, $4 billion has been added to the business. So we expected that by 2020, it will be $21 billion. And by 2030, if you see, the value is $3.1 trillion, which is immense. So you can see the potential of this blockchain. So this is going to be a feature of the IT industry and for the business. So you can, because this figure says the all, $3.1 trillion by 2030. So this is going to grow by any means in the future. So blockchain facts. So this diagram is again taken from upwork.com. So according to them, in 2008, blockchain is the fastest growing scale or technologies which we have. So everyone is talking about blockchain nowadays. They are trying to evaluate, they are trying to learn about blockchain. So future is immense, future is secure in a blockchain. So some more fact about blockchain, the project which is going on a blockchain. So right now there are 86,000 projects on a GitHub that is currently going on a blockchain. Out of 86,000 projects, around 9,000 projects are taken care by the companies, the institute, and the startups. So we expected that going forward, we expected to have an average 8,000 projects per year in the blockchain, which is a huge for a new technology. But this is expectation from a GitHub, but I expect to more. Instead of 8,000, I expect to have 15 or 20,000 around per year. As everyone is getting aware about blockchain, they are trying to evaluate this one in the future. So then, how many projects has survived from the development phase? Only 8%. But since the blockchain is a new technology, everyone is evaluating, so this will take some time to get this mature, get settled down. So this percentage will increase for sure. But this project count tells a story here, because everyone is talking about blockchain. They are trying to evaluate, they're trying to see what all things we can do with the blockchain, what all things it enables for the business. One more fact about the jobs. So the jobs for the blockchain has increased fourfold in 2017, and in 2018 it has increased 8 times. So industries and the companies are trying to find out the good blockchain resources so that they can evaluate this blockchain, they can try to work upon this blockchain technology as soon as possible. So for blockchain developers, the future is bright as the people are searching for more and more blockchain developers. Then the salary of the blockchain developers and the professionals. So as you can see, this is the minimum salary of the blockchain developers. So again, this is from Indeed.com, and this is kind of the average salary which you can take per year if you're a developer, if you're in the management, if you're in marketing and sales and analytics. And I expect that you can get much more from this salary if you're a blockchain professional and if you're an expert in this blockchain. So what courses we are offering from Tutorials Diary? We are offering two type of courses on a blockchain. One is the online courses, then second is the self-paced courses. In the online courses, we have Ethereum course, which is the blockchain in depth. Then we have Truffle framework, which is kind of framework we use for Ethereum development. Then Solidity language, which is used to build a smart contract for the blockchain. Then we have Hyperledger Fabric course, which is second most popular blockchain in the world right now. Then the Go language. And in self-paced courses, we are offering Truffle framework for Ethereum, the Swarm course, and the Ethereum beginner course. So right now we are discussing about Ethereum in-depth course, where we teach about the Ethereum in-depth from beginner till end to the expert level. So let's see the course content for Ethereum in-depth course. So here we'll talk about, first of all, about security. Cryptography is used to secure the information in a blockchain. So you can use the public and private keys, you can use the hash functions, you use a Merkle tree, you use the DHTs in a blockchain to secure your information. We'll explain in this session about cryptography, and we'll show you that how you can secure your information and what all steps are taken in a blockchain to secure your information, and how the information gets stored in a blockchain in a secure manner. Then we'll talk about a blockchain. In the second session, we will talk about that from where this blockchain gets started, what kind of tiers we have, like blockchain 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, blockchain X. And then we'll talk about the blockchain elements and type and Ethereum. So these first four sessions are the building block of your blockchain. This covers all the aspects, the theoretical concepts which you need to understand before you jump to the development portion. So this blockchain elements and type and Ethereum introduction will make you aware about some terms like nodes, some addresses, some peers, accounts, smart contracts, EVMs. So we'll come to know about the basic terms and the concept before you jump to the development sessions. Then we'll talk about that how you can set up your development environment for a blockchain, what all tools you need to install on your systems. So we'll have installation guide here, which will guide you to install all the tools on your system. Then we'll talk about the Remix IDE, which you use to develop smart contract for the blockchain. So you use, when we talk about Ethereum, so Ethereum development, when we talk about Ethereum development also, that is a smart contract. That is equivalent to your class. So you write the functionality in a smart contract and you use the remix to develop that smart contract. So in this session, we'll show you that how you can develop the smart contract in a Remix IDE. So we'll discuss about Solidity here, which is a programming language for Ethereum. So all the smart contract development is done in a Solidity language. So we'll discuss about the function in a Solidity, the events, the variable, and other aspects of the Solidity language. So then we talk about the Ethereum clients. So these clients are known as nodes, which help you to connect with the Ethereum networks, which is your mainnet, testnet, and we'll show you that how you can install these clients on your system, which is a Git client and Parity client, and how you can download the blockchain on your systems, and what kind of features we have for Git and Parity. Then we'll show you that how you can set up your own blockchain on your system, that is a private blockchain. What kind of tools you have to use, what kind of commands you have to use to set up your private blockchain on your system. Then we'll talk about the wallets and browsers. So these wallets and browsers are used to the different kind of transaction on a blockchain. So we have different wallets like Mist browser, we have Parity browsers, we have MetaMask is a browser-based wallet which you can use. We'll show you here how you do installation and how you can use that one. Then we have a truffle framework, which is used to for the full life cycle of the Ethereum development, like for development of your smart contract, for compilation of your smart contract, then testing of your smart contract, and then deployment and testing of your smart contract. That will also help you to build your own blockchain networks. So we'll talk about this one in this session, and this will span across multiple sessions here. Then we'll talk about Web3, which is a kind of API that will help you to access your blockchain from a front-end application. You can develop a nice UI, HTML application, and you can use a Web3 API to connect with your blockchain network. Then we'll talk about the Swarm. Swarm is a distributed network, again, part of Ethereum ecosystem, which will help you to store your files, which can be your movies, which can be your PDF file, which can be your text file, which can be your images. So this Swarm is part of Ethereum ecosystem. So we'll show you that how you can install this one, how you can upload the file to this Swarm, and how you can view the file on a Swarm network. Then in the end, we'll show you how you can build a end-to-end application, which is a DApp, which is a distributed application when we talk about in the Ethereum. So we'll talk about a medical history sample. We'll show you that how you can create a medical history record on a blockchain. And then we'll show you that how you can develop a front-end application, and from that application you can access that information on a blockchain. So this is the Ethereum course content which we have. The course feature is that, so this is again a online sessions where we comes online and people will join the sessions and will guide you about this Ethereum course. So total 30 hours we spend on this course through online medium. So we do have a forum, a community forum where you can put your questions, queries, doubt, and our expert will help you to resolve your queries and questions. And lifetime access, whatever sessions we do, we record all the sessions. So in case you enroll for this session, so you will get the account created on our website. So we'll get the lifetime access to our to this course, to the videos, to the presentation, to the assignments, and to the other quizzes and so on activities which is going on for Ethereum. Then assignments, as we have discussed that there is each class will have assignment associated. So we'll assign the assignments to you, which you do from your side. You can submit your assignments, we will evaluate, and that will be applicable for each and every class which we have. So this is some of the features which we have for this course. So this is all we have in this session. So thanks for your time. Thanks for joining this session. In case you have some comments or questions, please write to us at this trainings@tutorialsdiary.com or tutorialsdiary@gmail.com. You can also visit us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, on YouTube channel. You can also visit on our website, which is tutorialsdiary.com. Thank you.